We were made for this moment and we ain't got time to blow. Don't blow it, ready, set, go.
Opening day at Globe Life Field, trash cans thrown at the Astros, Odor facial hairless, the conclusion of March Madness, and it is only Thursday. Hello everyone and welcome into Mean Green Scream. I am your host Shaji Adam, and let's get to it as we started with 68 teams, but only one could say they are champions, and that team is the Baylor Bears as they stomped Gonzaga in an 86-7 victory. Mark Barrera and Rachel Sanders are here with me. How are y'all?
Doing great.
Fantastic.
Okay, did March Madness live up to your expectations? Are y'all still hype?
It was good. The ending was very anticlimactic, but I will say. But it was a very good tournament.
All right,
Oh,
Mark,
yeah.
way to be a downer. Rachel, what about you?
I think it was a great tournament. It was great to see some teams that we usually don't see win, and I was just happy just to have it back at least this year.
All right, appreciate it, Rachel. But let's talk about the game itself. Let's talk about that championship game. You saw Baylor versus Gonzaga. Both teams were trying to make history as Gonzaga was trying to be the first team since around 1976 to be the first team to go undefeated and win the championship, and Baylor was trying to win their first program basketball men's championship, and Baylor did it. They made history. So, Mark, I'm going to start with you. What was your reaction to watching that game?
My reaction was Baylor is more athletic than Gonzaga, more dominant than Gonzaga, more physical than Gonzaga, is stronger than Gonzaga. Basically, everything you can name, Baylor was better than Gonzaga. They shut them down on defense. They literally played like cutthroat defense. Gonzaga was not able to do anything. They shot 29.4% from three. The guards from Baylor, you got Teague Butler and Davion Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell's doppelganger. It was very good. Baylor seemed very impressive to me, and Gonzaga was basically a little let down.
Yeah, great job on that defense there. Gonzaga shot only 5 of 17 from the three. Even then, rebounding-wise, Baylor was just getting after it. They got 38 rebounds, and Gonzaga only got 22. Gonzaga overall shot better with 51%, but Baylor really decided to clamp down beyond the arc, and I think that was a great job. Rachel, what about you? What was your reaction takeaway after that game?
I mean, I say the saying that defense always wins championships has become true. It's great to see a defense do this. It's great to see this for Baylor. It's great to see this for Scott Drew. I think it was a great game. I think Jared Butler really killed it. And their defense stopped the players that needed to be stopped, like Timmy and Kisper. And I really think that Baylor just was the better team that night. And I don't think the offense of Gonzaga was really there.
Baylor opened on a 21-5 run, and at the end of the first half, they were up by 19, and that was basically all she wrote. Coach Scott Drew was incredible this entire tournament. He took over in 2003, and he finally achieved his dream. Congratulations, Coach, there. But now let's look at the other team. Let's look at Gonzaga. I thought in this game it just wasn't their night. Jalen Suggs played fantastic, 22 points, 3 assists, 8 of 15 from the field. I think he played great. Especially, he's the one that sent him into this championship. If it wasn't for his incredible shot, we'd probably see UCLA and Baylor right now. But one thing I saw all over social media was that Gonzaga wasn't really tested. And they face a team like Baylor, and they face a team like UCLA, obviously. And Mark, I'm going to start with you. Was Gonzaga a little too confident going into this game because they weren't really tested?
I don't think they were confident. I think they were anything overwhelmed by what Baylor was able to do to them. Because you got to admit, like I said last time, Baylor was the more dominant team. Like, they were really just more dominant. They were more physical. They were athletically a better basketball team than Gonzaga was.
All right, Rachel, what about you?
I think they were honestly tired. And then being in the West Coast Conference, there's really not as much competition for them. I think Baylor, when they lost to Oklahoma State, was a vital turnaround for their team. And I think going into March Madness, they knew they had to change. And I think that's what they did. And I think that's what ultimately led to this victory. And I think Gonzaga being tested against UCLA and just not being able to really be themselves in that game, I think that terrified them. And I think they weren't going in confident or cocky in this game either.
Yeah, and obviously Gonzaga just wasn't their night, unfortunately. You'll get one chance, and Baylor took advantage. Now, I kind of want to look beyond this. Let's look at the tournament itself. Mark, how are you going to remember this March Madness tournament?
I will remember it with the March Madness of the team of upsets. Because if I believe correctly, there was 19 upsets in terms of seeding, 20 if you count Baylor because Gonzaga was the favorite. But there's a team of upsets. UNT got their first tournament victory. Congratulations to them. Abilene Christian beat Texas, which is very laughable to me because Texas is on a spiral downwards. Oral Roberts making that Cinderella finish. They should have been in Arkansas to me, but that was a great tournament with a team of upsets.
All right, Rachel, what about you? 2021 March Madness. Looking back maybe 5-10 years later, what are you going to remember about this tournament?
It was the year of the small schools, those schools that won their conference tournaments and they end up going to the finals and they end up doing well. And I think that the schools that were bigger and the Power 5 schools really didn't actually expect what they got. And I'm really happy for the small schools like ACU, Ohio, and Abilene Christian, and including UNT. And I was very happy to see something different, and I was happy about it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy, and I'm going to be saying go Mean Green next year. All right, it was an incredible tournament that was very rewarding. Well, our very own J.J. Murray received the 2021 Spirit of Service Award. It was well deserved, so it is time that we hand out our own awards in the world of sports. Stick around to see who won when we come back.
Sometimes we can do things that exclude others.
You're still talking to your friend?
It's complicated.
I think he went back in. We gotta go get him.
Welcome to Jumanji.
Even the smallest words and actions can have a big effect on someone. You have the skills. Because of you, someone's
UNT basketball player J.J. Murray was awarded the Conference USA 2021 Spirit of Service Award for his contribution to the community in North Texas. Congratulations again, J.J. And with that, I decided to do a little award show ourselves. So joining me now on this auspicious day, Jose Moreno and Kevin Pacheco. How are y'all?
I'm doing really well.
Doing good, doing good.
All right, so we have certain categories, and we will give our personal winners. So now I'm going to start with the first one. I'll go first to kind of set the tone. So best athlete / MVP. For me, it's Tom Brady. I mean, 10 Super Bowls, winning his 7th ring. I remember when he was going against Patrick Mahomes, everybody thought, okay, Patrick Mahomes, he's the next GOAT. He's easily going to take over. But obviously, Brady proved them wrong. I mean, 43, 50 years old, don't matter. Tom Brady's going to the Super Bowl. He's easily my best athlete. Incredible job by him. All right, Kevin, what about you? Who's your best athlete?
I'm going to go with the only guy that can actually fight a gator underwater, and that's Kyle Pitts. He had 12 touchdowns and averaged 18 yards of reception, and he dominated the college football field no matter who he faced. He faced a cornerback every Cowboy fan knows, and that goes to Alabama, and he dominated that guy. He had over 170 yards that game and a touchdown. So
All right,
that's my
excellent
pick.
choice. Excellent choice. Jose, what about you?
I gotta pick the leader of the Toon Squad, Shaji's favorite athlete, LeBron James, the star of the new Space Jam movie. Dude, I mean, at age 36, putting up the numbers he's putting up, going to the finals still, he's a god amongst men. I love you, LeBron. Please message me back.
Okay, I'm going to just leave that there. Moving on, let's go to Best Coach. And Foghorn Leghorn has joined us now. So Best Coach, for me, I think it's Grant McCasland. When he took over UNT basketball, it was one of the worst programs in college basketball history. Him, along with his team, got UNT to their first March Madness tournament in about 12 years. and they finally beat Purdue in an upset victory. I have never seen North Texas all over social media like that. It was incredible. The players look up to him. He is clearly perfect for the school, and it was a good job by him. So he definitely gets my best coach award. All right, Kevin, what about you? Who's your best coach?
I'm going to go with the March Madness coach that won it all, and that's Scott Drew from Baylor. He turned that program around. It went from a program that almost didn't even have a basketball team due to some scandal, and now they're national champions. They dominated Gonzaga, which was everybody's favorite, and they were undefeated, so that's my pick.
All right, and Jose, what about you?
I was going to pick Coach Carter, but I couldn't because of copyright issues. So I picked Eric Spoelstra. Although, yes, the Heat are facing major problems right now as they're they're 24-24 last I checked. But I think leading that team in a really difficult East for once to the finals is awesome, especially now because he has a big four in Oladipo, if you consider Oladipo still good. You got Tyler Herro, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo. I mean, great drafter, great coach, great man all around. Love my Filipino God. Shout out to Reed and shout out to Eric
Also,
Spoelstra.
Coach Carter came out in 2005, so you're about 50 years too late.
I am.
All right, so now let's go to best moment overall. So for me, best moment, it's that Jalen Suggs three-pointer. Oh, man. I was in my room, and when he made that shot, I was screaming like crazy. And my brother, who's a nurse, he had to get up in about 3 hours. He ran into the room. He's like, what happened? I said, Suggs with an incredible three-point shot. He goes, that's fantastic, but I still got to go to work. I'll talk about that later. An amazing moment. Oh, man, it really took the breath out of every UCLA fan, and Gonzaga fans were so excited, but obviously their heart was broken in the championship game. But, Kevin, what about you?
I have to go with the same player. That's got to be like the #1 moment for every single sports fan. That was an amazing shot. Everybody thought that game was going to go to overtime, and then Jalen Suggs somehow just shoots that in, and it was like almost mid-court. It was an amazing shot, and I wanted to see more of that game, but it was a perfect ending, honestly.
It absolutely was. I think it still is the best game of the tournament. All right, Jose, what about you? What's your best moment?
Unlike you guys, I'm original. I'm going to pick UNT's victory over Purdue.
So original.
I cried during that game. I am a grown man who cried during a basketball game. I loved it. It was great watching history unfold in my first year on campus. That was pretty dope with all of my friends. I don't think anything will ever beat the moment, the glory when I just saw the buzzer just rang and I was like, it's over. We won a champion. Now we won a championship in my eyes. Amazing. I love all of my basketball players. I love you, UNT. Ka.
Yeah, it was definitely nice to hear your crying voice there. All right, now let's go to the flip side. Let's talk about the worst moments. For me, I think it's just Houston in general. They really are just not going good right now. With Deshaun Watson's very controversial case, over 22 women have come forward. It's definitely not a good look for Deshaun Watson himself. Obviously, there's still no verdict yet, but it definitely does not look good for him. Looking at the Rockets, they just have basically blown apart. They're just not the same team they were once James Harden left. You get rid of Mike D'Antoni, then Russell Westbrook's with the Wizards. You get John Wall, but it's just not the same team. At one point, it felt like they lost like 40 games in a row. It's just not working out. They did have a good victory against the Mavericks, and they're starting to get healthy, so I'm hoping Houston can turn this around. And finally, the Astros. Again, they are never going to escape being that team that cheated to win the World Series, and the blow-up trash cans being thrown in. It's just not a good look right now for me. But, Kevin, what about you? What's your worst moment?
I got to go with the other moment that can make a grown man cry, and that's going to be Dak Prescott's injury. That was a devastating moment for Dallas. Just seeing the team down, seeing the whole stadium just be completely quiet, even the commentators. It was a devastating moment for all of Dallas. I've never seen Dallas shut down, but that was definitely the day it did.
All right, Jose, what about you?
Danny Green's shot that he missed that could have easily ended the series against the Heat, that one shot single-handedly ended a man's career, if you really think about it. No one's signing Danny Green. No one wants Danny Green on their team. He was traded away like a week after the finals. I mean, let's be honest here. One shot ruined a man's career. That's got to be the worst moment of anyone's life. I feel bad for Danny Green.
Yeah, in a way, but I still think when he retires, he'll probably get into the Hall of Fame, and he's an NBA champion, so I think he's okay. So really quickly now, let's talk about our funniest moments. Mine is that courtside incident with LeBron James and the woman on courtside, and that woman on courtside, because she was dubbed Courtside Karen, unfortunately, and it was all over social media. I've never seen Twitter so ruthless before, and it definitely was a pretty funny moment to see how creative people are getting. Kevin, pretty quickly, what is your funniest moment?
It's got to be Luka missing that free throw and completely airballing. That's my moment.
Okay, and Jose, what about you?
Oh, dude, it's got to be Shaq's appearance on AEW. Oh, man. I mean, that was so funny, seeing a man who's 7'2", fight like a 5'3" person.
He was not
Amazing.
5'3". Cody Rhodes is about 6 foot. It was a funny moment, and those tables exploded like crazy. It was definitely awesome. Shaq, keep making appearances. Thank you, guys. Well, it was opening day for the Rangers, and they had full capacity. We react to that and the season so far. Stick around for more Mean Green Screen. When the pandemic first hit, thinking of having all fans back at stadiums felt like a time way before. Well, the Rangers decided to change that, as for the first time since March of 2020, we had a full capacity crowd of over 40,000 fans. That was a sight to see, but what was on the field that day was not, as the Rangers got dominated 6-2. However, since then they have won 2 games in a row and are now 3-3 on the season. Joining me now is AJ Tellers and Reed Smith. How are y'all?
Yeah, pretty good. Happy to talk baseball.
I'm decent. Same here, man.
Hey, it is great to talk about baseball. Opening day was fantastic. Now, let's talk about that full capacity crowd. AJ, I'm going to start with you. Was having a full capacity crowd a smart move to do on the Rangers' part?
So, in sticking with the baseball side of things, I think it's a sight for sore eyes. I mean, I got goosebumps. I don't know about y'all, but just seeing people in the crowd to that capacity on opening day, it gave me the chills. And look, sticking with the baseball side of things, politics removed, Major League Baseball is making an effort to get towards normalcy, to take those steps to get to the normal process. They started off with a 162-game schedule. That was the first step, and we're seeing every ballpark or every team playing with some sort of capacity this year. So regardless, everybody's going to have a different opinion on it, but they're taking steps in the right direction, and boy, this was a sight for sore eyes.
It was just so weird to see everybody there. I mean, well, March of 2020 was the last time we had a full capacity. It was just so weird to see, even though that's how it normally used to be. You just kind of freak out. Reed, what about you? Do you think this is right on the Rangers' part?
Well, as AJ said, it's kind of a political topic. Whether what political spectrum side you're on is kind of the opinion you'll have. I mean, I went to a game on Tuesday. I will be honest, it was not full capacity, only the opening day was. But the staff there, they enforce masks. They really make sure that they're being the safest they can. So if they can do that properly and assure that things are as safe as they can be, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah, I remember when I was out there for NCTV News, we were trying to cover the opening day. And, you know, while inside is great, you know, what happens outside, I saw a lot of people without masks. It's still pretty dangerous, as we still are currently during a pandemic. And I know so far, Rangers are the only one to have a full capacity crowd. Majority of the rest of the teams have been doing 20% capacity. AJ, do you think the rest of the league will follow if, you know, the Rangers can successfully socially distance and keep people safe?
Well, it's obviously not going to happen in 2021. It's a question you're going to have to ask again once we get to spring training in 2022. But like you mentioned, all teams are having some capacity, but it's still varied. Outside of state of Texas, it's really different. You have teams like Yankees and Tigers that are at 20%, and then Boston and Washington are down to a 15%. It's going to be a state-by-state question, and don't bet on it for 2021. Let's see where we're at, though, spring training in 22.
All right, and Reed, what about you?
Once again, I think I'm going to bring politics into this again. Whatever, if it's a red state, you'll see full fans. If it's a blue, you won't.
Okay. All right. So now let's kind of look at the other side. Now let's talk mainly about baseball. The Rangers, obviously, opening day was not the best look for them, 6-2. But like I said, they turned it around and now 3-3. AJ, what are your predictions? What's your review of the season so far for the Rangers? And if you want to give a prediction for playoff chances.
I'll touch into both. So opening week, first and foremost, is always the overreaction week. What you do on opening day is going to be magnetized. Now, the pitching numbers do not look good out of the gate. But part of that is those 2 clunkers they had in Kansas City. And in these 6 games, 4 times their starting pitcher has gone at least 5. That's a plus, especially the highlight. One of their younger talented starters, Dane Dunning. Look, this year is going to be about the youth movement. It's going to be about finding what assets they can move off of and what assets are going to be there long term. Again, you're 500, 2 games back, but it's way too early to start having gut reactions. But this season is all about getting younger and then finding out who's going to be here in the long term.
Kyle Gibson, he did not have a great opening day. He was pulled after recording 1 out and allowing 5 runs. He was 6, but when they came around this most recent game, it was 6 innings of shutout and a 2-1 win over Toronto, and they ended up winning that series. Reed, what about you? What has been your review so far?
I mean, talking about that game you were just talking about, Shaji, that was 8 strikeouts, 6 innings pitched for Kyle Gibson against the Blue Jays yesterday afternoon. That's improvement. And here's my review. If the Rangers can have okay pitching, it doesn't have to be outstanding. It doesn't have to be even great. If the Rangers can have okay pitching and a stellar offense, which they have had, even though they did get blown out in Kansas City twice, those blowouts were 14-10. Well, let's look at it. This Ranger offense has been exciting. And Nate Lowe, 14 RBIs. Who would have thought that Nate Lowe, an acquirement from the Rays, who batted .242 last year, would put this production?
All right, quick yes or no from both of you. Do the Rangers make the playoffs?
No.
Not this year.
Okay, way to end it on a down note. But anyways, it is Thursday, which means it is trivia time. So don't go anywhere because I ask our analyst trivia questions and I will also reveal the theme. That's next on Mean Green Screen.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand
Mean Green Scream is on every Thursday, and when it is closing time here, we hold our own Trivia Thursday. For today's show, the theme is Major League Baseball. Joining me now is Erica C. and Alec Rapp. How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Great.
I'm doing fantastic. Let me see if I can, trick y'all with these trivia questions. All right, so this is how it works. I'm going to ask a question. Each one of y'all will get 10 seconds to think about it, and then you guys reveal your answers. All right? And try not to cheat. Don't write the answers while I'm saying it. That's very disrespectful.
Yes, sir.
All right? Let's get to question 1. Question 1. Which of these types of food is a baseball slang term for an easy catch pop fly? Is it A, can of beans, B, cheese stick, C, meatball, or D, can of corn? Your 10 seconds start now. I had so much fun looking up this question. And now I'm hungry. All right, time's up.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys.
Just guessing.
Alec, what's your correct answer? What do you think it is?
C.
Okay, you went with meatball stick. And all right, Erica, what about you?
I took a wild guess. I
Was that
picked
D?
Yeah, sorry, you can't see. Sorry.
Your wild guess paid off. The correct answer
Yes.
is D. It is can of corn. Good job, Erica. So
Thank
Erica's
you.
in the lead with 1-0.
That's gonna be
All right, here we
more
go.
like it.
Question 2. Which famous criminal was once a professional baseball player? Is it A, Al Capone, B, Bugsy Siegel, C, John Dillinger, or D, Joe Gallo? Your 10 seconds start now. I always like the long pause. All right, guys, it looks like y'all are pretty much done. Erica, this time reveal yours. What did you put?
I put B. I have no idea. So.
All right, Bugsy Siegel. Okay, very nice selection.
Yeah,
Alec,
I
what
don't
about
know.
you?
I went with C.
All right, John Dillinger. Alec, you tie it up. John
wow.
Dillinger
Okay,
is the
I'll take it.
correct answer.
I'll take it.
Yeah, he was a second baseman, but he never made pro. So that would have been interesting if he made the pros. All right, so question number 3. Who is the career leader in batting average? Is it A, Ty Cobb, B, Joe Jackson, C, Rogers Hornsby, or D, Babe Ruth? Your time starts now. That's pretty quick by both of you, so we're confident. Okay, okay. All right. Erica, what did you put?
I put A.
Okay, you put Ty Cobb. All right, Alec, what about
Yeah,
you?
I put A as well.
You both are correct. It
Yay.
is Ty Cobb. Look at that. It's now 2-2. All right, good job. So now let's go to question 4. All right, so Eddie Goodall was the shortest Major League Baseball player of all time. How tall was he? Was he A, 5'2", B, 5 foot flat, C, 4'6", or D, 3'7"? Your time starts now. The ball. All right, 3 seconds. A lot of confusion on Alec's face. All right, time is up. Alec, what did you put?
Yeah, I put C.
Okay, 4'6". All right, Erica, what about you?
I put C as well.
All right. Well, we're still tied up, but y'all were incorrect. He was 3'7". Yeah, the St. Louis Browns in 1951. It was a publicity stunt to get people there.
That makes sense. What did he play?
I don't know. I think he just came into bat. He came into bat. Yeah, that's right. He did come into bat. All right, so final question. We are tied up, so this will be match point. All right, so question number 5. How many teams have never won a World Series? Is it A5, B6, C11, or D3? 10 seconds starting now. I heard it. Ooh, so I'm going to hope that's a good question I asked. All right, both of you reveal your answers now. Go.
B.
I put B as well. So.
Wow, we have the first tie ever in trivia. Congratulations, you both are correct. And just so you know, those 6 teams are the Rays, the Rangers, sad face, Rockies, Padres, Mariners, and Brewers. All right, good job, guys. So I'm the loser here because I couldn't pick a winner. So that's going to do it for us. If you like our content, be sure to follow us on social media. Be sure to come out and celebrate the basketball team as it is happening. Yeah, like right now. Thank you so much to everyone involved. Get out of here, and we will see you next week for the season finale of Mean Green Scream.